Alrighty then, it is unbox time again. And what I have with me today is something that, quite frankly, I expected more than half a year ago. This is from Air Droids in, I thought they were in San Diego, it says Indianapolis here, so I guess that's their fulfillment center. Let's crack into this. This is one of those Kickstarters. Let's see if we can get this to cut open there. And a lot of people was more than a little concerned about the delays because a lot of people basically didn't think this was going to happen. There's a very cool little drone, quote unquote. Let's get this thing out of the box. Here you go. Inside here is a custom branded box. And we're dragging that out. Okay. And inside, how do we open this up? Here is the box. It is branded. It has some cool pictures. Looks like the Air Droid or the PocketDrone has been to Feyenoord or maybe Northern Europe for some of these pictures. And that's supposedly what's in the kit. It's a collapsible, ready to fly tricopter. The important part about this product is it's ready to fly. So all you have to do is put batteries in and take this thing outside and fly. And that's one of the things we're gonna check out. But right now, I'm gonna try to unbox this. How does this open? Okay, here maybe. No. Here we go. Here we go. It comes up like that. Ta-da! How's this gonna work? I can't see, and you can't see me. Okay, here's some stuff here. In here is the box with the aircraft, I am assuming. Inside the box is a bunch of bubble wrap. And let's take a look at this. Because this obviously is the most interesting thing in this box. So, inside the little Ziploc box here, let's get rid of some more bubble wrap, is the ready-to-fly aircraft, which fits inside this so you can throw it in your backpack and or in the back of your school bag or something. Right here we see that is a flight control radio antenna. We see that blades here. Wow, they have very bad molding marks. But the little rough surface is probably not actually gonna affect the flying, so let's not hold that against them. And on front it says PocketDrone. Up here you see a GPS, and from what I understand this is an APM controlled aircraft. So before you go fly, before I even unhook this, let me hurry up and say, when you use an APM with GPS, fire it up, wait for something, wait a couple of minutes. Do not try to fly right away, because if this one does not have a good GPS lock, all of the GPS features in this aircraft is not going to work correctly, and you're likely to see it go some other direction than you anticipate. So that's a very important little detail. Now on the bottom here is a suspended, can you see it kind of rocks back and forth, suspended camera mount. And I had expected to see something to hold a GoPro, so I guess I'm a little surprised. And underneath here, you see a holder for a battery. So if I remove this box, and what do we have here? This says spare parts. Let's crack into the spare parts real quickly. Those are the little quick lock struts for the legs. And thankfully, more props, a whole bunch of little propellers. So that's gonna be fine. Is this the leg struts? That is at best, that does not look very strong, but hey, apparently it's strong enough. Let's take a look at these props. The props are kind of cool. It looks like they have a good angle to them. They are asymmetric. They have steep angle towards the center and they get flatter out towards the angle. That gives better lift. Oh, and here you see how when you switch the prop, this little leaf here is going to help you lock it in place. So when it gets centered to the axis, that's going to lock it in place. So there's two of these. Balancing these is probably going to be an interesting proposition. Let's check that out later when we go flying with this. So I'm going to put these away and let's see. I want to find a battery. Battery! That looks like a battery. Jesus, how do they expect us to open this? People like me are really not good with having to wait. There we go. So the battery comes kind of in an air drone-ish monster-sized box. I'm not sure what is inside. It says warning. Okay, so we've been warned. Do not put it in the water. It is a 1, 2, 3. Here you can see on the balance tab. This is the 3S. There's 1, 2, 3 cells, and there is a ground right here. So that's what we're flying with. What that also means is any old Phantom 3S 2200 battery will work here. So there is a snap connect here. You can kind of see the connector up on top of the battery. So I am assuming we can just plug that in right here. Maybe not. Let's try that again. There, all the way until it clicks. So that's essentially the aircraft right here. Here's the box, and here is the battery case. The battery case then attaches to that yellow cable here, and the APM, flight controller, the radio, everything should start up. I'm not gonna fire it up right now. What I am gonna do is I'm playing with these arms. So here is essentially, this is the money shot. The Pocket Drone is all about the fact that it fits in this thing. Of course, the radio doesn't fit in there, and they don't seem to deliver a transport case for the radio. So the little switches on the radio are still going to be exposed. Okay, so I was expecting like a hard click when this comes out. It's a firm click, and I would say it holds it in place, but it's not like locking this aggressively in place like I expected, but that may be okay on a tricopter. So here's the other side. Now they're out, and as you can see, the propeller can't turn around here yet. So we're going to pull that out. So now we have pulled them out, and down here is our 2.4 control. I think this over here is probably the 900 megahertz data link to fly this with your iPad, or probably only with an Android phone, because I don't think there is an iPad software for APM at this point in time. So here it is, the way, let's get these propellers unboxed or unfolded, and they kind of click in place. Like, just remember those little, it had like a cut open at the end of it. So that clicks in place really nicely. There it is, it's screwed on top. So it has this big anchor right here with 3 screws. It's not particularly elegant, but probably functional. The way I usually fly, I'm probably gonna just belly mount it. I'm seeing these little legs here. Let's get these propellers unfolded. There, one more. And one more. So there we go. Now there is 3 propellers. It's a very dense, very tight aircraft. And here's the suspended thing. Inside this suspension plate is something attached with Velcro strip. I am afraid that is probably, oh good Lord. So that somehow is a suspension, a toothpick size suspension for this leg to prevent it from folding up. Guys, that's fucking crap. Seriously. Okay, so here they are. They have a little piece of Velcro on them. They go right in here. like a belly land on the bloody camera. Just fold these things up, land nicely on the, not on the camera, but on the camera and the battery thing here. Because this thing was designed to fly a GoPro in its safety casing. There's no good reason to use these. Just the sound of this is horrifying. These are crap. Oh my goodness. Just like that, they come right off in your hand. I wonder how they go back on. Okay. Oh well. That is the PocketDrone. And it's a fairly efficient design. Part of what this is all about is that they managed to get 20 minutes flight time with it. It also can be flown with an iPad, or sorry, with an Android phone system, Android tablet, or it can be flown with your radio. So that's really what this is about. That is a drone that can then be collapsed down, very small, easy to travel with. And I do actually believe this is going to be very easy to travel with. The battery, of course, does not fit in the travel case, so that's in addition. So the fact that the system fits in the case is kind of not really happening. But we kind of saw that coming, so I don't think we can really blame them for that. But it does, the aircraft itself fits in this nice little padded case, and I like that. I like that. Let's put this out again and let's see what else is in the box. This box I have right here is the ready to fly unit. And as soon as I can get outside, please don't fall down. As soon as I can get outside, I'm gonna read the operation manual. And, oh, here is the USB plug to run this off your laptop. So that's brilliant. That is included in the ready to fly. Here's a keychain holder or a badge holder from, and probably that is supposed to be an, that is the PocketDrone, official PocketDrone brand holder for your radio. It comes with 8 batteries and it comes with a battery charger. So that's probably a 3S battery charger and will probably work well with all the other 3S battery chargers I have accumulated. All right, let's get this open. In here is, this is something you want to keep. This is the binding key. If you have to unbind or reset the receiver, you have to use this little binding key. You could put it on the strap, the radio receiver strap or something like that. I usually just kind of loop it. You pull that out, you can see what's in here. It's a little thing, that's the binding key. And in this plastic here, oh, there's more in here. So in this plastic is also a little DVD, and this is a Fly Sky radio, so that's pretty stock. What I usually do with these things is I stick them right up here on the handle and just kind of pull it through. There, now I don't lose it. And up here you have a couple of variable controls. You can probably, and they're both right now set to far to the left. And since this is a ready to fly kit, I'm gonna assume this radio is basically set up and preloaded with the appropriate firmware to start flying this. And let's check out the back side of it. There we go. Woohoo! Here is room for 8 AA's, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 8 batteries goes into this, and then we should be ready to start it up. Nicely, also on the back, you will see there is a PPM out here. The PPM out can be used with a long distance systems such as an Thomas Scherer long distance or a Easy UHF or a Dragon Link. You can plug that right in here, and then you can change the receiver inside of that, and now you're ready to do 10-15 miles of flight. Of course, the battery on a multirotor will never go that far, but at least you could, technically speaking, do that if that was what your heart is set on. So there we go. It actually has a pretty nice finish, but radios are radios, the world is full of them. Let's put that over there. And what remains to be done is I have to put batteries in the radio, and I have to charge this battery because I'm sure they did not ship it charged. And I can definitely see why they gave me spare legs, because I think the legs are dead very, very quickly. I tend to break all kinds of stuff, so I'm sure the legs are not gonna have an easy day around me. Overall, the implementation of this, they did a very good job at making molds and systems based on the original model they showed. One of the things that's unusual being normally we use multi-rotors that steers by changing speed of the propeller. This is a tricopter, and tricopters steer by angling the propeller in the back. So if you want to turn to the right, you tilt it over, and now the aircraft tilts that way. Coming back, it does like that. And if you hear here, you can hear the servo is actually, you can hear the gearing in the servo there. The motors are really small with a fairly large prop, so it's gonna be a slow moving prop with good efficiency. This is not an aerobatic aircraft. This is meant to be a 20-minute aircraft that can fly a GoPro camera. The GoPro goes right here in the center of gravity together. The GoPro is intended to fit right underneath here in its impact case. Of course, the first thing I'm gonna do is say forget that and instead install an iLock Plus 1080p camera from Valkera. The iLock Plus, do not get the iLock because that's only 720p. And that comes with a built-in transmitter for 5.8. So I can hang that right here, and in one installation I have a transmitter, I've got video, and I've got 1080p recording, and I'm ready to fly FPV with this aircraft. So that's gonna be my next move, is installing this, getting the radio ready, test firing it, and go fly it. So now before I wrap this up, I wanna address a couple of things. First of all, the case here is fairly well made, and I've heard some people have been crashing these. To be honest with you, it's not really a PocketDrone or AirDroid's issue. Some of it, of course, it's their issue. It's a ready to fly aircraft, and we should expect it to be ready to fly. However, it comes with an APM controller, and before you start flying this, you need to go to the APM website, Google the APM flight control system, and look up the basics you need to know. By all means, make sure this thing gets plenty of time after you plug it in. Generally speaking, I say do not fly a APM system with less than 3 minutes warm up. So make sure this thing has warmed up for 3 minutes before you take it flying. Otherwise, the GPS is likely to not have a decent GPS lock. And also, you probably should get yourself a battery minder, like I think it's called a LiPo alarm. Put a LiPo alarm right on here, and once it gets down to 3.5 volts in the cells, it's gonna start beeping loudly. You can't miss it. So that's a good way to know when it's time to land. But also, flying an APM system is a fairly well documented process. So if you're brand new, don't pop this thing up in the air, crash it, and say AirDroids didn't do a decent job. They probably could do a better job educating people, and that's something that surprised me, because after I became one of the sponsors of this, I sent a whole bunch of emails to AirDroids asking if they could give me some information. A lot of the people I know have bought into this system, and I would like to help these people know what we're about to get and how to prepare for flying it. I never ever heard back from them. So 10 emails later and 6 months delay, to be honest with you, I find it hard. I think it's a nifty little product, but I find it very hard to take the company AirDroid serious or consider them as a professional entity. They simply do not communicate with the users that have spent money with them. Or if they communicate, they do a piss poor job at it. So I would love to be proven wrong. But let's see how the company develops from here. I hope they come up with some better industrial design, because this is not pretty. That's the best I can say about it. It's very square. It doesn't look like they really developed the shapes and the aircraft much from the original implementation. But I mean, we can't really expect them to do that. So this is essentially what the original package was promising to deliver in a somewhat flimsy package. So stay tuned and let's find out how this flies. I'm really looking forward to getting it in the air. I had hoped to fly this outside Starbucks, but it feels too heavy. I just don't want to slap this into the table next to somebody. That just can't be a pretty thing to do. So I think I need a little more space, maybe go up to Griffith Park or something before I fly this. And I need to get some goggles on it, and we need to get a video camera showing it flying. So stay tuned and subscribe for more videos.